David, thoughts and assessment on today's game?
First half we give them an early lead. We've got ourselves back into it with the penalty, and they're down to 10 men, and we didn't come out second half. And fair play to Bangor, they dug in, they used their experience, and they deserve to win the game.
What was the biggest issue or the biggest problem maybe in terms of the second half or overall maybe that caused us the problems?
The game's there for the taking at half time, and we outlined exactly what we wanted from them. It never happened. That's the biggest issue for me. Obviously, if people aren't responding to what I'm telling them, then that's a problem.
Colin McGrandless, lost him to a late red card. What's your views on that?
I mean, before he came here, we've had those discussions about discipline, and he's just going to let himself down, and it'll have a big impact on his coming weeks. So, but he's a young lad. He needs to learn from that, and it's the good players will learn from things like that, and the poor ones will fall away into the amateur league. No disrespect to the amateur league, but there's certain reasons why people don't play at a certain level. But the big man needs to learn, and he needs to learn very quickly.
Is it becoming an issue for us in terms of losing players to red cards? It's making things harder for us.
I certainly wouldn't. I don't think there's any sort of disciplinary issue and throughout the squad. For whatever reason, we're getting sent off for individual absolute stupidity, and you can't legislate for that. So that boils down to the player and the player attitude and what way they react whenever things develop on the pitch. And we're disappointed today the same way we were disappointed when Kieran and Stuart got sent off, and just makes things not only difficult today when we went 10v10, but in the coming weeks when people aren't available for selection. But that's what we'll have to overcome now.
Is it disappointing not to have a league game next Saturday to be able to try and put things right, or what's your view on that?
It is. I said before coming until today, 3 points out of 12 isn't good enough, and it's hugely disappointing in terms of where we want to be, the attitude we've brought to the club, and those aren't being fulfilled, and at the end of the day it falls down to me. So obviously the decisions that I've been making have been incorrect based on performances and results. So it's something that I'll have to take and deal with.
Does it become a test of a different kind to try and regroup whenever maybe results haven't been what they want them to be, and turn things around, even though it is very early in the season? Yeah,
certainly. I mean, whenever we first came here, everybody knows we had a good start, and then end of the season, everybody was sort of a dead rubber, and we got away with it then because we lost 4 or 5, and no one really seemed to notice. But I noticed, and losing 3 league games out of 4 will be a different sort of test, because it'll test our character as manager and staff, and but we'll not do anything different, which might sound strange, but because I know that we're giving our all, and doing things properly, the way things are certainly done, certainly should be done. The things that I would have expected whenever I'd have played, in terms of off the field and facility and quality of training. So all them things are good. It's other things that isn't so good. So it's those things we have to get right.
You have the squad by and large to be able to make changes, and is that a consolation at least that you can, if you want to, if you need to, change personnel, change things around?
No, right now there is nothing to be a consolation for what I just witnessed in the last hour and 15 minutes. Second half, I mean, obviously.
Next Saturday, Ballymacash. A game very similar, I suppose, to last week in Dramar Village. It's just about trying to get your name in the hat for the next round, I suppose.
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, I think now we need performances by individuals, and whether that's against whether that's during cup games or league games, it's very important to try and get back on track and get wins, especially here, because once you're stuck in a rut, it's difficult to get out of it, and I'm not hiding away from it anymore. Three wins out of 4 in the league is just not acceptable, and it's certainly not what we had on the agenda whenever we started this season and planned and brought people in on the premises that they knew what they came here for, and that hasn't been fulfilled. So it's certainly not good enough.
Is it, or will it take a while maybe to repair confidence? We talked last week about the second half performance, and hopefully that would come into this week, but it maybe just never seemed to really get going today.
No, I think we've only played well in one game. When you consider that over the games that we played is hugely disappointing. And somebody asked me at the time, about keeping people's feet on the ground. I don't buy into the fact that people get carried away with beating Ballyclare here on the first day. Now boils the question, is that Ballyclare have a poor day just because we've been poor ever since? So maybe we're just not as good as I thought we were, because I've been telling them how good they are, and they've been brought here, recommended and watched by us, and people just aren't carrying their weight, and that falls down to me as well, because I brought them here, and other people have left on my say so. So at the bottom line, it's down to me to make those decisions, and maybe people are not just letting. The biggest thing is that they're letting themselves down whenever they're taking them to the park and providing that type of performance, which is the most disappointing thing for me. No one can sort of pick up pace or by a little instinct in front of goal, but everyone can have heart, and it goes a long way in football. And sometimes over the last few weeks, maybe I'm questioning that.
Okay, David, thanks for your time.